Trump and Putin's Alaska meeting, the inside story. Next Friday, August 15th, an extraordinary meeting is set to take place in the unlikeliest of locations, the icy expanses of Alaska. U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin will meet face-to-face in a high-stakes diplomatic encounter aimed at ending one of the most devastating conflicts of our time, Russia's war in Ukraine. This isn't just another handshake photo op. It's a meeting loaded with geopolitical consequences, market reactions, and questions about the future of European security, Russia relations, and Ukraine's sovereignty. In today's deep dive, we'll break down everything you need to know: the announcement, the stakes, the behind-the-scenes maneuvering, and what could actually happen in Alaska. Segment 1, the big announcement. On Friday afternoon, President Trump confirmed what had been rumored for days. Posting on Truth Social, he wrote, "The highly anticipated meeting between myself as President of the United States of America and President Vladimir Putin of Russia will take place next Friday, August 15th, in the great state of Alaska." Further details to follow. For days, Washington insiders had been expecting a major announcement. The president had dropped hints in speeches, teased the possibility to reporters, and even floated Alaska as a venue. But now it was official. Markets reacted instantly. The S&P 500 climbed 2.4% for the week, and the Nasdaq jumped 3.7%. Not because traders suddenly forgot about inflation or weak economic data, but because they were betting on a possible cooling of tensions between two nuclear powers. Segment 2, why Alaska? You might be wondering, why Alaska? First, it's U.S. territory, but geographically, it's the closest state to Russia. Just 55 miles separate the two countries at their narrowest point. Holding the meeting there avoids the optics of either leader, traveling into the other's home turf. Second, Alaska carries symbolic weight. It's a reminder of the historic connections between the U.S. and Russia, and perhaps a nod to the cold, strategic realities of Arctic geopolitics. And third, security. The White House reportedly delayed the meeting for logistical reasons. Trump himself said it could have happened sooner, but security protocols took time to arrange. Segment 3, the stakes. War in Ukraine. At the core of this meeting is the brutal war in Ukraine. Russia's invasion has dragged on for more than 3 years, with heavy casualties and no clear end in sight. Putin wants to cement control over Ukraine's eastern Donbas region. Ukraine, backed by the U.S. and its European allies, refuses to give up territory. Trump has repeatedly said he wants to end the war fast. In his campaign and presidency, he has positioned himself as a dealmaker who can succeed where others have failed. But here's the complication. Reports suggest Trump is considering a territorial swap, allowing Russia to keep certain occupied regions in exchange for a ceasefire. Segment 4, Ukraine's response. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has made it clear. No deal that hands over land to Russia is acceptable. Kyiv's position is based on restoring Ukraine's 1991 borders, including Crimea, which Russia annexed in 2014. Ukrainian officials worry that a Russia agreement without them at the table could pressure them into concessions they will not accept. Indeed, Zelensky is not expected to attend the Alaska meeting. This has raised alarms in both Kyiv and European capitals. European allies, who have provided billions in military aid, are equally concerned about being sidelined. Segment 5, sanctions, tariffs, and pressure. This meeting also comes against a backdrop of economic threats. Friday was supposed to be Trump's deadline for Russia to agree to a ceasefire or face new sanctions, including massive secondary tariffs on nations buying Russian oil, like China and India. Some proposals in Congress even pushed for tariffs as high as 500% on those countries. Instead of announcing sanctions, Trump announced the Alaska meeting. For some, this suggests diplomacy has taken priority, for now. But it also leaves the question, is the threat of economic punishment just a bargaining chip? Segment 6, past tensions, present calculations. The relationship between Trump and Putin has been complicated. In recent weeks, Trump appeared increasingly frustrated with Moscow. He ordered the deployment of 2 nuclear submarines to the region after tense exchanges with Russian officials. He also approved U.S. military equipment sales to Ukraine through NATO allies, a shift from his earlier, more cautious approach. Yet here we are, with a face-to-face meeting just days away. Segment 7, the territorial swap debate. The idea of a territorial swap is not new, but it's one of the most controversial elements of this story. Potential scenario. Russia keeps control of eastern Donbass. Ukraine regains some territories in exchange. A ceasefire is declared. Critics argue that this would reward aggression and set a dangerous precedent. Supporters say it's a realistic step toward peace given the battlefield stalemate. From a Ukrainian perspective, accepting Russian control over Donbass would be a devastating blow to sovereignty. Many in Ukraine believe any concession would simply give Moscow time to regroup and attack again later. Segment 8. Expert Analysis. Former National Security Council staffers and foreign policy experts agree. Washington and Moscow remain extremely far apart. Beyond territory, there are disputes over NATO security guarantees for Ukraine, whether Ukraine can choose its geopolitical orientation without Russian interference, the broader U.S.-Russia relationship, including arms control, Arctic security, and Middle East policy. Any agreement would require careful coordination with European allies and, ultimately, Ukrainian consent. Without that, it's unlikely to hold. Segment 9. Possible outcomes. What could happen in Alaska? 3 main possibilities. Breakthrough ceasefire. Trump and Putin agree on a framework. Ukraine is brought in and fighting stops. Markets would likely surge. Partial progress. Some agreements on humanitarian corridors, prisoner exchanges, or de-escalation, but no full peace deal. No deal. Talks collapse, tensions rise, sanctions are announced, and the war continues. Segment 10. Why this matters globally. This isn't just about Ukraine. For Europe, the war affects security, energy supplies, and NATO unity. For the U.S., it's about projecting leadership or risking credibility if talks fail. For Russia, it's a chance to break out of isolation and secure concessions. For the markets, geopolitical stability could shift oil prices, stock markets, and global trade. 1 week from now, all eyes will be on Alaska. Will it be the site of a historic breakthrough, or just another chapter in a long, cold standoff? We'll be watching, and we'll bring you every update as it happens. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up to our channel name Current Affairs. For more content like this, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Appreciate you watching and hope to see you in the next one.